Here. Okay. I just want to call to order the work session of March 6, 2024. Roll call, vote please.
Mason.
Here.
Hallett. Arbin.
Here.
Mason.
Present.
Schneider.
Here. Okay, do we need to tee up the agenda before we recess or go through what we're doing? Okay. So order of business for this evening, we are going to recess the meeting, walk down to the house, the purpose of which is a follow-up to last month's conversation about salvageable elements of the house and for use as part of the pavilion and perhaps future bathrooms. We will have the clerk, who's coming down with us to take notes? Okay, town planner and town manager will come with us to take some general notes of the discussion. Once that's done, we will come back, get out of recess, have any discussion we need for the next ARB meeting, and then we'll recess, or then we'll adjourn.
Can you give the address?
Sure.
14740 Washington.
We will be going down to the Park House at 14710 Washington Street. Okay. We are in recess. Let me know when ready. Okay, so we are coming out of recess for the March 2nd, 2024 ARB. March 6th, what did I say? Sorry, March 6th, going back in time. ARB work session. Do I need to do a roll call because we've added a member or no?
Just for the record, Rob Howlett joined us.
Okay, just for the record, Rob Hallett joined us at during the visit. Okay. Do we need to do any summary comments of the discussion, or are we good?
If you guys want to give a quick summary of what we talked about, that would be good.
Okay. So we went down to the site. We primarily focused on the perimeter, looking at opportunities to keep the stone elements of the structure, looking at ways to mimic with the pavilion design the gable ends, the roof elements of the pavilion, incorporating the roof brackets that are similar to what's out there today, talking generally about how the dimensions of the pavilion would coincide with some of the corners of the building, and then ways to incorporate the chimney. Any other comments that the group would like to make? Can you turn your mic on?
No, we mentioned also maybe a more cost-effective way of keeping the porta potties, but making them look more in line with the structure. Some kind of enclosure to put around them so they looked a little more. Do you remember that?
Correct. So if the bathrooms were going to be a follow-on project, that in the interim, if the pavilion is built first, that we do an enclosure for the porta potties that would match or be similar architecture to the pavilion. So I think today, for staff's purposes, the idea would be the structural elements that would go as part of the demolition, and that we would next month come back with maybe some preliminary designs or concepts that we can offer to the council to perhaps get the design of the pavilion underway. And then if the two can meet up at some point, then that would be great if we can. What else do you need from us? I'm sorry. We had talked about too that architectural salvage, if there was some opportunity to remove during the demolition process, if there was a way to remove wood elements of the project to set off to the side, if the contractor is able to do that without much additional effort. And then we talked briefly about, Emily, did you mention maybe people coming in if they wanted to come in and take door moldings and other stuff? That's not particularly, does that need to be part of the demolition permit? Is that something, I guess, before that would even happen?
That would be something that I just would want council to give the okay on, since our liability insurance
Gotcha.
would cover any
So
accidents.
like a week before the demo would start, if people wanted to come in and do it, but that doesn't need to be part of the demo
No.
contract. Okay. That being said, so I think the general agreement is keeping the stone pillars on the front porch, retain the pillars on the side porch, retain the chimney to the extent possible. We talked about, I guess, if the building was to come down, there's ways to stabilize that. And then keep the decorative brackets from the front porch, from the front porch posts. Anything,
I think we also mentioned if we can keep the stonework around the foundation, if that's possible, then we can do that as well. And you said, I think we said we're going to re-pour both slabs of the entrance and the side entrance. That's all I remember.
so the idea was have it sort of one level floor with keep the level of the porch, the same level, the pavilion would be the same elevation, and then keep the stone
Right.
elements of the foundation if we're able to.
Yeah, basically, just take everything down to this flap here, the front porch, right?
Correct, everybody?
And then
See what I'm talking about?
Basically, just maintain this, maintain that, and just everything above, and
Yep.
keep the chimney.
Okay.
So basically.
That's
kind
kinda
of
like-
goes with-
What was it? Fauquier Park? They have pavilions kind of set up like that, don't they?
Maybe
Yeah.
so like kind of as some precedent, like architectural precedent. I know this one photo is from the new, is it Rollins Ford Park, where they kind of have like these stone pilasters to begin with, and then it goes up to the wood and the framing. I mean, this roof line's a little bit complex for a traditional pavilion, right? Normally you see something like this. This was in a state park in Pennsylvania that I would typically go to, and there's the stonework up here. This has two gables, kind of in a T shape, and then this enclosure here underneath the gable roof is wood, and so that's where we could kind of mimic the cedar.
Yeah, that's where you're talking about, where we keep the end cap on the,
Yeah.
you guys can see up there, we keep the end cap and then use the cedar shake element here. Okay. And then these gables would have the same brackets, and then they'd sort of have the same eave and brackets. Okay. And we talk later if we want to do standing seam or asphalt. I think that's always had an asphalt roof. Okay. Does that enough detail for the structural elements to keep? Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. Anybody else want to look at those?
Which one?
Okay, do we need to put a motion together to list that again, or do you think we got enough detail from here?
I think we're good with the detail
Okay.
we were given, and then I'll add that into the RFP for the demolition. That will be going live probably next week. It'll be up for 30 days. We'll get the bids in, review bids, and go from there.
Okay, and then our hope would be at the next ARB meeting, and Ben's already scoping or sketching up some stuff on his thing, which would be great, is we can come up with a conceptual design to present to the council in hopes that maybe we could have the two efforts happen at the same time. I guess we would need, if the council is agreeable to that concept, I guess we would need to submit a formal certificate of appropriateness at some point.
Yes,
Okay.
so we would need to do that. We would need to do that. We would need to talk through the cost of hiring an architect to do the official drawings that are needed to submit to the county for permitting, those kinds of things. So cost associated with that.
Okay. Thank you for coming out on a wet Wednesday. I know it was out of pocket. We were trying to help move stuff forward, so appreciate you guys taking the time on
You
that.
guys.
Any other discussion? Okay. I guess, do we need a motion to adjourn, or we just adjourn? Okay, can we have a motion to adjourn?
I motion for us to adjourn.
Second. Okay, moved and seconded. No further discussion. The meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody.